I found out when I was 13, but I didn't have the courage to tell other people until I was around 14, 15. I felt like such a loser. It was hell, and I felt different, and I hated it, and I wanted to fit in as much as I could. I genuinely thought that I was inferior to other people. I felt like a bit of an outsider.
A lot of it is just about being tired, about feeling like you don't have any feelings anymore. Feeling just kind of like you don't exist. An absolute lack of just will to be here. If you ever get angry, it's never justified because you're an erratic person. If you're ever sad, it's immediately a cause for panic because you're going to kill yourself. If you're ever happy, it's because you've entered into a state of mania. So it's very hard to live with that and look at people and they'll treat you the same and they'll be supportive, but in the back of your mind you're thinking, they think this about me. There's always this fear that in the future, if I'm having a shitty day, it can never be just that I'm annoyed about a small thing, I'm annoyed about something insignificant. It actually is, it's always going to be tied back to it, and everything I do and say is viewed through the prism of you're mentally ill.
You have a right to worry if it worries you. You don't have to keep it in just because your problems apparently don't seem as big as other problems.
It's like being obsessive compulsive, where you just see things and you fixate on it, like you just fixate and fixate and fixate on it to the point that it drives you nuts. Diet, that's massive on depression. You cannot be eating artificial foods or processed foods. You just take it all out.
I mean, I've never thought that I hear voices, but I do have a voice telling me I'm a complete all the time in my head.
I sort of felt removed, wasn't really enjoying life, and I, turned to drugs and alcohol. After, sort of dulling my life with drugs and alcohol, I ended up sort of going off the deep end and got out of control.
Structure will save your life, because the one thing that I've always found in my time struggling and battling with severe depression, anxiety, and depersonalization, the thing that hurts the most is downtime. Time where there is no structure, time where you're idle, where you're not doing anything.
It's important to have a good bit of balance in your life between the things you have to do, work or studying, and the things that interest you and make you feel good about yourself and good about your life. Take time to think and to reflect, to be interested in yourself and how you are in the world, and be thoughtful in some way, be reflective.
I've actually forced myself to list one positive thing a day relating to the future, because I do have a tendency to think negatively, because when I make a mistake I panic or say something I probably shouldn't have said. I panic and overthink it and think, oh my god, what did I do? Why did I do it? I shouldn't have done it. I'm so stupid, etc. And it goes on and it gets worse and worse. And that's what I don't like about anxiety. There's no way for your brain telling yourself that what you are thinking is irrational. I think only through age do you kind of see it more and more, that what that thought was irrational and what is rational.
If you're ever sort of creative in any way, that's attributed to your mental illness, and actually it's great that you're mentally ill. That helps you, your pain helps you create. People tend to they either celebrate someone for their madness and creativity, or they completely degrade them.
I remember having this panic in my teenage years, being like, I can never get help for my depression or anything because I'll never be able to write another poem.
Because I had a tendency to think I was inferior to others, I always thought that I didn't have any talents of my own. I ended up doing a lot of poetry about how I was feeling, and I even put some of them on my blog, and a couple of people saw them and liked it.
They say don't kill all your demons because you might get the wrong one. You might get the one that gives you your insights, or the one that inspires you to write music, or the one that inspires you to be kind to animals and children. You know, you have to be careful which demon you get rid of.
People think that mental illness is a linear story. Once upon a time, you're a happy kid, and then something bad happens, and then you're depressed, and then you want to hurt yourself, and then the guiding light comes down and helps you, and you live happily ever after, non-mentally ill. That isn't true. There's no such thing. It's just you go up and down, and even in the bad times, there are good bits too.
Yeah.
And it's very hard to define, because like it's not black and white at all, and there's no linear journey. Like it fluctuates.